Today I wanted to talk to you about accuracy versus fluency situation. So there's a lot of debate about the fact that really now people are leaning more towards the fluency and saying accuracy is not important or is not as important when learning a language. So before I give you my views and the views of other people on the subject, I would like to just explain briefly what I mean by fluency and what I mean by accuracy really. So fluency is the ability to communicate in a language without hesitation and being able to express your thoughts and ideas in a way that you are understood and also you understand other people when they are talking to you. Accuracy is about doing the same thing really as fluency, but without mistakes, making sure that you are using the correct vocabulary, the correct tenses, and not only are you understood, but that message is really, really clear and on point, basically. So, what's the debate? The debate, I think, stems from the fact that in the past, there was too much emphasis on accuracy. Namely, the students were just doing non-stop exercises in the textbooks, translating, gap filling, doing grammar exercises, and never really getting a chance to speak and practice the language. So when it came to them traveling, suddenly they were unable to speak. So everything that they had learned in the textbooks was practically useless in real life. And I completely understand why these days the many teachers and learners are going to the other extreme of saying, just focus on fluency, just speak, don't think, discard your books, discard those exercises and just focus on speaking. And this is where I have a problem with this message. I think going from one extreme of only doing exercises to the other, of only speaking and not thinking, are both dangerous in a sense of they really destroy your language learning experience and they stop you from achieving as high of a goal as you want to achieve in a language. Okay. So everyone now looks for fluency, all the students, and they love this message that no homework, no exercises, no studying, I will learn like a child, right? So this is again, I have a problem with that. You cannot learn like a child as an adult. I said it in my other podcast, but I will repeat it here again because I think the message is really important. You cannot learn a language completely like a child if you're not a child. You are an adult. You have a logical mind. You've learned to think in the language, in your native language. And in order to learn to think in the target language that you're learning, and I guess here it's English, or maybe it could be another language that you are learning as well, you have to have a bit of logic as well. And I suppose it also depends on the learner's style as to how much logic there is and they need in order to comprehend the language. So you might say, well, but language when you speak it's intuitive. Yes, but before you have intuition about something, you need to have logic. Before something becomes intuition, it is knowledge. It is knowledge that you acquire, internalize, practice, and then it becomes intuition. You cannot suddenly expect to acquire intuition without knowledge. And that is where I have a problem with the message of fluency over accuracy. Forget accuracy. Do not worry. Do not stress about it. Again, I understand where people are coming from. By people, I mean teachers and learners alike and experts. Because when you speak, you don't want to be stressing about grammar. You don't want to be stressing over vocabulary. You do want to enjoy that communication, that exchange with someone in the target language. However, if that's all you're doing and you're never going back to basics, never revising some rules, some vocabulary or grammar rules, you will never improve. And I'm saying that with confidence. I know people who have lived, for example, in the UK or for, I don't know, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. They speak English every day, they communicate, but they're not improving. They hit that wall at some point when they just cannot grow much. And if you keep repeating the same mistakes again and again, I'm saying this from experience, not from theory. These mistakes will get ingrained into your brain, into your memory, and they will just stick. They will stay with you. Do you really want that? Do you really want to not be able to ever eliminate these mistakes from your speaking? Now, don't get me wrong. There are people who are happy speaking with mistakes. They do not care. It doesn't bother them. They are aware that they are speaking incorrectly, but they are enjoying the communication process and they are fine with it. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's the choice that you are making, that's fine. But make sure that's a conscious choice. For most people, I think, for most learners, they want to speak. Try to speak as correctly as possible. Try to use the tenses correctly. Try to use the vocabulary in the right context in order for the message to be clear. Because the more mistakes you make, the less clear your message is. And that is true, and that is fundamental. And you cannot expect other people to have the patience to try to decipher the message you are delivering. You know, make the task easy for the other people. If you want them to understand you, if you want to have communication and build a rapport with them, build a relationship with them, the clearer the message, the less mistakes, the easier that task becomes. And I really wanted to highlight that to you today, that actually, you know, what I've been saying and what other people are saying is that accuracy is the enemy of fluency. And there is some truth to that. There is a conflict, because when you are trying to correct your mistakes in your head, you are not speaking. But when you are speaking without thinking, you're not thinking about accuracy. True. But in terms of communication, if you want to be truly fluent, you cannot do it without accuracy. You need the accuracy. You need to speak correctly and sound correctly. You need to have the right vocabulary and grammar in order to deliver the message in the right way. How can you have true fluency and deliver the correct message if you're not using the correct words? And that is where accuracy comes in. So they're not the enemies, guys. They are intertwined. They work hand in hand together, side by side. I like to compare it to driving a car. And I use this comparison for grammar because grammar is accuracy. So if you're driving a car, you have a gas pedal, you have a brake pedal. If you are driving an automatic, of course, you have a clutch in the manual one as well. However, you cannot expect the car to only have gas, i.e. fluency. You cannot expect it to have only a brake, i.e. accuracy. If you do not brake from time to time, you will get into an accident, you will get in trouble. You need both. You need both to drive a car. You need both to speak a language. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes my thoughts on the accuracy versus fluency argument. I hope I've put some clarity on this issue for you. And, well, it's up to you. You know, research, think about it. But I wanted to give you my thoughts as a learner and as a teacher at the same time to make sure that you have the full information. Thank you for listening. Have a lovely day.